Yes, you read that title correctly. I did not invite my own mother to my wedding. Do I regret it? No. And before y'all even jump at me in the comments saying, but that's your mom. I know. You think I wanted this to happen? Anyways, get ready with me while I tell you why I did not invite my own mother to my wedding.
And it goes a little something like...
Now, just a warning in advance, I'm definitely going to be going over a lot of background stuff that has happened in the past. Of course, not everything, but everything that will lead up to why I didn't really invite her. For background, me and my mother have always kind of had a rocky relationship since day one, to be honest. I feel like things were always rocky, especially when I was 7, when she cheated on my dad and they divorced, and that was a whole thing. And you know, I was 7, so you know, the past is the past, right? And, you know, you can always make up for it. You could always change, be a better person. Maybe this was just a one-time thing. No, it was not, unfortunately. Of course, this isn't really too relevant to the story, but I just wanted to give you a little background on why things were kind of a little rocky since day one. As you can imagine, for a little kid, that's not the best example someone could give to their child, but this wasn't like a one and done kind of situation, but that isn't the reason why I didn't invite her to my wedding, because obviously when I was growing up, I wanted to kind of move past the stuff that happened when my parents divorced, because obviously I was really young and I wanted to forgive and forget. I definitely do go over my past more in my book that I just released called The Relapse. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. I have the link below in the description and in the comments. Anyways, when I was 19 years old, I discovered what a narcissist was. And of course, as any curious child, I'm gonna look up more information. Honestly, I don't even remember how I discovered what a narcissist was, but I did, thanks to the internet. And it just sounded a little too familiar to me, and obviously I started putting the pieces together. Like, I always knew there was something off about my mother, especially with the way that we would argue during my high school days. Like, it was just really unhealthy, not normal, and I didn't know that back then because I was just a kid. How would I know any better? So during this time, I obviously realized that she was kind of a narcissist, but I didn't realize how bad because I didn't truly do anything to like bring out her true colors. But fun fact, I actually cut her off twice. The first time that I cut her off was when I was 20. And I have to bring the story up because it is relevant to what I'm about to mention for the second part when I do cut her off the second time and I don't invite her to my wedding. So I was dating my now husband, and I remember this weekend, I wanted her to bring me back home early because obviously my parents are divorced, and I had plans in the morning with my boyfriend Saturday morning, so I wanted her to bring me back Friday, just whenever, Friday, just as long as I'm back before Saturday morning. And I remember her getting so mad at me for just wanting to hang out with my boyfriend. Mind you, my husband is like the nicest guy ever. He is so chill, he's so respectful. It's not like he's some fuckboy or something like that. Like, we were, you know, in the beginning of a very serious relationship. Now, one thing about my mom is she's always had these weird morals, weird way of thinking when it comes to relationships. Honestly, it's not a good example. She's literally like the definition of feminine toxicity. Like, I just remember her getting so mad at me. Like, she literally refused to drive me back to my dad's house. She had her boyfriend drive us to my dad's house because she didn't want to drive herself. Like, and I remember I told her days in advance too, because I was spending like a few days with her. I literally told her that I wanted to be back on Friday, and she didn't want to take me back on Friday. She got mad at me so much to the point where she literally started insulting me, literally about my body and the way I look and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what does this have to do with anything, woman? Like, you are crazy. And this was also right around the time that I realized that she was a narcissist, so that brought out some of her true colors, and I already did not like what I was receiving. The way that she was acting then was diabolical. But wait, it gets worse. So obviously her boyfriend takes me back with her in the car, but he was driving. And while we were driving, I just knew that would be the last time I would see her for a good while because I've had it with her. And I was still in the stage that I still needed to process that she was a narcissist. I didn't know how to truly handle it. The best thing that I could do at that time was to cut her off, and I need space. I literally knew no other way because it's either my way or the highway with my mother. It's not like I could talk some sense into her or calmly talk about what I feel. No, my feelings don't matter, honestly, to her. Like, unless... My feelings have never really mattered. Like, it's always about her. I can't have a real conversation with her without her making it about herself. But yeah, to sum it up, the first reason why, the first time I cut her off, she was just being insanely, like, disrespectful for literally no reason. Like, I did not want this. But a few months later, she did come to apologize to me. Apologize. Only for me to realize that she only apologized to me just so I could be her bridesmaid to her wedding. At the time, I was suspicious that that was the reason, and she kind of confirmed it along the way because obviously months before the wedding, she would literally hint that she was still mad at me for her coming to me and apologizing. She was mad that she had to go out of her way to apologize to me, even though you're the one who insulted me and was insanely disrespectful. So yeah, she was mad that she had to be the person to apologize because I wasn't speaking to her, and she was mad about that, even though you're the one who did me wrong, but yet you're gonna be mad that you have to apologize? That's insane. Like I said, it gets worse. So flash forward to her wedding because, you know, things were neutral for those few months, and, you know, I'm a forgiving person, so I wanted to forgive her this one time because obviously I'm not just gonna completely, like, shut my own mother from my life completely. I wouldn't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do that, but I literally had to eventually, at least. So flash forward to the wedding. We all go on a trip to South Carolina so she can get married to her husband, and my boyfriend, now husband, also came along on this trip. And this is where things kind of go down south the first night, because me and my husband, we had some silly little argument that any normal young couple would have. It wasn't anything concerning like cheating or violence or anything along those lines. We're still like kind of in our early years of dating, getting to know each other and communication and all that. Excuse you. I don't know if y'all can see, but my dog is literally right there. But yeah, we had a silly little argument. It wasn't in front of everyone. Like, we were literally texting. We were text arguing, which we don't do obviously nowadays. We've been together since 2019, but back then we would text argue because we didn't want to make a scene in front of people. But obviously we took some space. He was up in our room and I was downstairs, and I made the mistake to console my mom about this situation. I made the mistake to think that I could be comforted by her and just trust her with relationship advice, basically. So I tell her about this problem, and she actually made so much sense. Like, she genuinely gave me really good advice, like, calm down, this is just a silly argument that, you know, couples have, it's just normal, you know, I can tell he really loves you, he's a really good guy. She was telling me all this stuff that was common sense. She was saying, oh, you guys will make up soon, like, you know, this is not a big deal. And it was true, because literally not even 30 minutes after we had that conversation, we made up and we were fine for the rest of the trip. Apparently she was being fake about that part. I don't know why or how she was, because literally everything that she said was common sense. And she's always liked my husband up until this part. Yeah, another weird thing to note about my mother is she doesn't like when there's any kind of negative energy in the room. Like, I know that sounds weird to say, but God forbid somebody has a problem with something. She will burn bridges, she will get mad, she will be like, goodbye, good riddance kind of person. So God forbid anything like is said or happens, she does not like it. Everything has to go her way. Every opinion has to be from her opinion. Like, it's insane. But yeah, anyways, flash forward to a few weeks later, my birthday dinner. I remember that she did not talk to us. Like, it was me, my husband, and some members of our family, and she was barely acknowledging me or my husband on my own birthday dinner. She only really acknowledged us just for pictures, and I noticed that, and I was like, why is she acting like this? What is going on? Like, I was literally like whispering to my husband, like, dude, what the heck is going on? Why is she acting like this? That is so rude of her to act like she's not even talking to us on my own birthday dinner. So yeah, I noticed that and I was really mad about it. But my husband, of course, calming me down, he was like, you know, just don't make a scene, don't do anything, you know. So I did. I was calm. I didn't say anything. I was just like, okay, maybe I'm taking this the wrong way. Maybe there's nothing wrong. But I kind of know better, but I was still kind of gaslighting myself. So a week goes by after my birthday dinner, and my mom, I guess, noticed that I was unusually silent. And she kind of asked, like, you know, what's going on? And I was just like, oh, well, I kind of noticed that you were acting a little strange on my birthday dinner. You know, I didn't really like the way that you were acting. You weren't talking to my husband. You weren't talking to me. Like, that was really rude and kind of unprofessional. And then this is when everything just goes to shit. She literally sends me a voice message just blowing up on me, talking shit about me, talking shit about my husband, us as a couple, insulting me, insulting my husband, saying unforgivable words. I was shocked because obviously I kind of expected something to happen, but I did not expect her to be so rude. The words that she said to me about me and my husband, it was absolutely inappropriate, insane, bad. I wouldn't want to repeat those words on here on YouTube. But yeah, just the stuff that she just blew up on me, even though she was acting so rude, so like not nice on my own birthday dinner. It's my birthday. Like, how are you gonna make my birthday about yourself? So yeah, after she blew up on me, I was like, oh no, I need to get out of this right now, block everything. I guess I've always kind of been lucky in a way because my dad has always had custody of me my entire life. But of course, I was over 18, so the custody thing didn't really matter anymore. But I've always been living with my dad, so I could cut her off easily like that because it's not like I live with her. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of the reason why I cut her off, because she was insanely disrespectful to me and my husband. And I've heard that she's, you know, said some stuff behind my back as well. So I'm not really about that. Especially, that's your daughter and you're going to treat her like that. Like, how do you say you love me and then you act like that? If the answer isn't really obvious enough as to why I didn't invite her to my wedding, obviously she crossed many boundaries. She has always in the past, but I go a lot more into detail about everything in my book. So if you want to know more about the past, the present, the lore, there's a lot that has gone on besides just the whole wedding situation. Because like I said, she is a narcissist. So there are like other things, other stories I could tell. But for now, it's in here. It's just so insane because to this day, she didn't know why I didn't invite her to my wedding. Like, how are you going to talk shit about us as a couple, the bride, the groom, and expect to be invited just because you're my mother? I'm sorry. I don't want any bad vibes on my day. And unfortunately, she was a negative vibe. Like, why would I invite someone who literally talks shit about the man I'm gonna marry? My father likes him. My friends like him. My family likes him. Literally everybody likes him. But it's funny because she actually did reach out to me last year. And I was in a more forgiving, healing kind of mood last year, and you know, I did want to have a conversation with her in person as to why I didn't invite her to my wedding and why I cut her off and just everything, because I wanted to explain to her everything. Obviously this is not everything that is a reason to this video, because there's a lot more to this besides just my husband and myself and that whole situation. I've had issues with her since day one, because even throughout my teen years there were still some issues that I just didn't really appreciate, and now I look back, I'm just like, wait, that kind of was not normal, and I didn't realize that because obviously I was just a kid. Yeah, towards the end of last year, she kind of showed her true colors again. Unfortunately, that is how narcissists work. They always are the victim in every situation, and they'll always shift the blame right back to you some way or another because they hate taking accountability, unless it benefits them, of course. But yeah, anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope this wasn't too messy. I feel like I was kind of all over the place, but this story is all over the place because there's a lot more that hasn't been said in this video that is in this book. And I know I keep pushing this book, but no, I'm so serious. There is like a lot in here, and it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and I have an ebook version on Google Play as well. So if you're interested in reading my book, It's available now. If you're someone who loves poetry and struggles with having a narcissistic parent, this book may be a little relatable, a little too relatable. Just know that you're not alone. And if you struggle with the desire to forgive because you have such a good heart, so you have to keep your guard up, this book is definitely for you. And that's why it's called The Relapse, because it's the relapse into hope, the desire to forgive and let go, the longing for things to be different, only for you to realize that it's never going to change. So then you have to keep your guard up. This is for you. Anyways, that's it for today's video. So if you're new here, please like, comment, and subscribe, and take a look at my book. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you next time.